That also looks good. I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
Continue on Stellarton Road for 1 kilometer.
Side of the highway to be taking a look at this. Back within the peninsula on HRM, still pretty busy, particularly around the south end. If you're heading towards Point Pleasant Park, that is definitely on the busier side at the moment. And there's some added construction, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, around that South Park and Inglis intersection. Well, kind of between South Street and Inglis on that Yonge Avenue South Park stretch. That's busy. Tower Road definitely looking busy at the moment. I mentioned people taking that route heading down to the park at the moment. Bridges are still running good, and no issues in the Windsor Street Exchange Fairview overpass area. It looks like that earlier collision that was reported at Bayers and Joseph Howe is cleared up. A little bit of a holdup maybe on Joe Howe heading down towards that intersection, but nothing too serious at the moment. Bayers, I'm seeing a little bit of an effect like on Desmond Avenue heading towards Bayers. Bayers just a little bit on that stretch just as you go past the ramp heading up to the 102. But it isn't like a disaster zone, which it kind of looked like a little bit earlier, but just a little bit of holdup. So I'm assuming that collision that happened there is all cleared up at this stage. Other than that, a little bit of activity maybe on Portland just as you're heading away, and actually a little bit towards the
in 300 meters, turn right onto George Street.
Kind of past Settle Street, up towards like Woodlawn Road, just as you're on the approach there. But otherwise, Portland looks pretty good. And again, there is that little stretch if you're heading on Montebello. So you're coming across from Caledonia Road, Montebello, towards Waverly Road. There's a small stretch between Micmac and Waverly that is closed.
Turn right onto George Street, Nova Scotia, Trunk 4 East.
Drive down to get to Waverly Road. But that is about it. That's what we're looking at on the roads right now. If we're missing anything, of course, nobody's looking out there anyways. They're all looking at the sun.
It is very close now, Brian. Put on a sting and come in here and look at this.
I'm going to check it.
It's 4:30. Here's your local news.
In 300 meters, turn right onto Riverside Parkway.
Here's the CBC News for Nova Scotia. Good afternoon, I'm Cassie Williams. The small northern town of Cape Breton, Meat Cove, is busier than usual. It's the only place
Turn
in
right
all of
onto
Nova
Riverside
Scotia that's in the
Parkway.
path of totality for the solar eclipse happening now. And people from all over have driven in to catch a glimpse of a rare celestial event. Tom Ayers reports.
Meat Cove normally has maybe 100 people living here, making a living from the
In
forests and the
600
ocean.
meters,
The
turn
picturesque
left onto
community
Victoria
gets a lot
Street.
of tourist traffic in the summer and fall, but for early spring, the numbers are unheard of. Melissa Hines is helping run a tea social at the community center to welcome the hundreds of visitors who've arrived.
We think it's really, really amazing that it's coming to Meat Cove. We feel like we're already pretty special as a little community on its own, but here we are. We get to be blessed with the 24 eclipse. I hope everyone gets to enjoy it, here with us.
The iconic Meat Cove campground juts out over the ocean. It's always beautiful, but the blue sky and sunshine had people in a festive mood. Curtis Young is from Florence, Cape Breton, and teaches science
Turn
at
left
Monroe
onto
Academy.
Victoria Street,
He brought
then
his
turn
two
right
children
onto
to see
East
the
River
eclipse,
Road.
but it was difficult to tell who was more excited.
I put it in my calendar many years ago when I first heard of it. It must be 5 or 6 years ago. And I was living abroad and thought maybe I'll be able to get back for it. And here we moved home. Here we are. Perfect time and place.
Most
Turn
of the
right
tourist
onto East
facilities are
River
still
Road,
closed
Nova
from the winter,
Scotia,
but the
348
campground
South.
food truck was doing a booming business, and people in Meat Cove are hoping the visitors will return. Tom Ayers, CBC News, Meat Cove.
Meanwhile, a Miramichi, New Brunswick woman who got to experience a
In
solar
600
eclipse
meters,
7
your
years ago
destination
says
will
it's
be
a
on the
feeling of
right.
genuine awe to witness it from the path of totality. Mary King is a member of the Royal Astronomical Society. She traveled to Idaho for the Great American Eclipse in August of 2017. This time around, she's going to be at her family farm. She says people lucky enough to spend a few minutes in the moon's shadow should take a moment to fully experience it.
Like, I know people have kids and pets and everything, and you got to kind of mind them, but take, especially here when we do have the 3 minutes, I'm going to set a timer on my phone and just, make sure I take a minute for myself just to look around and breathe it and feel it on your skin and feel it in your bones and just, it's really internalize the moment as much as you can because, we're lucky to have it here, but it's kind of, like I say sacred, but special to have it here, and I will say sacred to have it here, and it's really something everyone, if you get a chance to let it transform you.
King says the best way she can describe the event is lightless light that feels otherworldly. A fire just outside of Wolfville, Nova Scotia, put 2 people in the hospital and destroyed a home. Wolfville Fire Department Deputy Chief Chad Schrader says the call about the fire on Newtonville Road came in at around 7:15 today. Schrader says about 60 firefighters were at the scene of the 2-story home during the blaze from several different fire
Your
departments in the
destination is on the
area.
right.
So we have what's called mutual aid in all of Nova Scotia. We use it very well in Kings County. All of the Kings County Fire Departments was on our scene this morning. So I think we had 13